Welcome back. We already talked about how to improve your profile to get quality invites. You already know how to design a niche oriented profile that get noticed in the crowd. You also know how to optimize your profile for high end clients who have the potential to give you repeat business. For myself, many of my Upwork clients later hire me as a remote employee outside Upwork. So, Upwork is a doorway to get financial freedom via freelancing business. Anyway, this is another case. Let's focus on Upwork first. In this lesson, we will talk about writing winning proposals. The ability to write a winning proposal is one of the most important skills you must know. You need to know how to write proposals that work. Now the word work means connecting with the client. It doesn't mean every proposal you write will give you a sure job. A winning proposal is something that clients will love to answer. And once they answer your proposal, you have the chance to convince clients that how good you are for their job, isn't it? Most freelancers just skip this skill and they apply for jobs they are not fit for, or they use some proposal templates. As an Upwork client, once I have posted a job and got 22 proposals. I was looking for a YouTube video editor. I rejected 16 proposals that are 72% at first glance. You know why? Because of their profile title. For example, a profile title was like that: data entry, admin support, transcription, Bengali translation, web research. Now, what will I do with a data entry operator or admin support for making a YouTube video? Even I got proposals from a translator or a web researcher too. Oh my god. Yes, this happens many times. Most freelancers even don't read the job post carefully. They consistently send proposals for random jobs and hope when the next job comes. But it never comes and they get depressed. Whenever I need a job, I start sending off quality proposals in the public job marketplace. And I know I am going to get a new client very shortly. How can I be so confident? Because there are some principles I am following for months and it works like magic. Using these principles, you can also get quality jobs from public posts. In fact, at the beginning of my career, I used public job posts the most. Day by day, my profile gets more noticed. I started to get more invites and repeat business, and now I don't even bother to send proposals for new jobs. But for new freelancers, public job post is the best way to start. Well, you need to check out some points before you are writing the proposal. First of all, you have to be a good fit for the job. Otherwise, there is no point to send a proposal, right? As I mentioned earlier, why I rejected 16 proposals without even reading a single line. So make sure you are good for the job and you have the required skill set to finish it. Secondly, read the job post very carefully. Many freelancers don't even read the entire job post. Without reading the post, how could you be so sure that you can do the job? Clients are also aware of this behavior of freelancers very well. So, in many posts, clients give an instruction to follow for ensuring that you read the post. Like start with the proposal with say quick. So if you don't put the word quick at the beginning of your proposal, you are going to be rejected, even if you are a good fit. So make sure you read the job post from top to bottom. Finally, your goal of sending proposals is to open a room for a conversation with the client. And you need to do it fast. Quicker you send the proposal, more chance you are being answered. So you need to very fast. With good practice, you can do it within a few minutes. High quality clients who post public jobs are looking for high-end freelancers. So I am not pretending that this is very easy to do. If it was, everyone can win high quality jobs, isn't it? Don't afraid. Getting good at writing proposals is not very difficult either. I will show you how to avoid the mistakes most of the freelancers do and how to outshine them with the right approach. Well, let's check out what most freelancers do and why this approach is a total mess. Think for a second. Suppose you are applying for a 9 to 5 job. Do you think they will hire you based on your application without even interviewing you? No, right? The application is a doorway to confirm a seat for the interview. The word application and the word proposal create different impacts on our head. When you are applying for something, your mind hopes for an interview call or a no, isn't it? But when it is the question of proposing something, people get desperate. They are pushing hard to close the deal. You already know, when it's the question of fall in love, people propose. They don't apply. And in that case, they become desperate too. So my point is, Upwork uses the word proposal deliberately to give you a feel that you are going to close a deal. Most freelancers fail in that trap and they desperately try to sell them. And to do this, they either undersell them by offering a very low price or they push clients hard to hire them. And it makes them either a random penny maker freelancer or they don't get any job at all. So be sure you are not in the same trap. Remember, Upwork proposal is not actually a proposal. This is an application. Now, thinking the proposal as an application will totally change your perspective. Let's go back to the 9 to 5 job application. What will you write in your application? Is that like something, I will work 2 hours extra daily. Please give me the job. Or I will take $1,000 less salary for this post. Is that make any sense to you? Not at all. Nobody writes an application in this manner. They write something that tells why they are a good fit or how they can help the company to grow or how their quality and skill sets become a great help for this company, right? Same thing in the Upwork proposals too. I personally check many proposals with the same wrong approach. But if you consider this as an application, you are not going to undersell you or even push the client to hire you, will you? Rather than doing this, you will focus more on the problems and will write how you can solve them. Now, think from the client's shoes. They got tons of proposals. I mean, literally, they got a lot of proposals where there are very few applications. Eventually, it is 20 to 30%. So, if you can shift your perspective, you can easily outshine 70 to 80% of freelancers who are applying for the job. Make sense? So, when you are sending a proposal, keep in mind that Upwork proposal is actually an application, not a proposal at all. Secondly, you need to focus on your service and how you can help the client with the project. The third point is, do not undersell yourself or do not push the client to hire you. And finally, don't get desperate by thinking you are closing a deal. Your goal is to open a space for a conversation. That's it. Now you know what to avoid. Once you can shift your mind, you don't have to do what other 97% freelancers are doing. In the next lesson, I will show how you can write your application or proposal, whatever you say, in a persuasive way. See you in the next lesson. Best wishes. Welcome back. In the last lesson, we talked about how the word proposal traps most freelancers and how to skip it. We also talked how a shifting of perspective from proposal to application can outshine most of the competitors. Now it's time to write some winning proposals. I will tell you my 3-step concrete rules to write a persuasive proposal. What I called the LSD method, where L stands for likable, S for solver and D for doable action. I want to remind you that writing a proposal for only getting hired is not the goal. We are not trying to close the deal on our first contact with the client. The hiring decision is a big deal. So, we are not going to push the client for this commitment at first attempt. Now, what should you do? Break the big deal in a very small goal that is easy and doable. And this is a response from the client. Now, to get a response, the client must have to read the entire proposal. Again, clients have tons of proposals to check, and all they can see is a part, one or two lines from your proposal at once. So, the first rule of a persuasive proposal is to be likable, and you have only a very tiny space to do so. You see, the clients only see 1 to 2 sentences of your proposal maximum. So, make sure your first line or maximum first 2 lines of the proposal are stunning. Now, it doesn't mean something poetic, just something easy to read and attach clients emotionally so they keep going. Note that I said it emotional attachment, not logical. In the very first line, you need to prove that you care for the clients. Failing to do it means client dislike you, so they will skip. The client should like you first, and you are the man who has to do this job. Sounds difficult, huh? Don't worry, there are several ways to do it. The most effective way is to start with the name of the client. Most freelancers start with hi, hey, dear, hello, and phrases like that. But they don't take the benefits of addressing clients by their name. Now you may ask, how do I know the name? With a little research, you can find it if the clients didn't say their name in the job post. Actually, most clients don't bother to do that. Check the client recent history and you find freelancers feedback there. Many freelancers use the name while giving feedback. You can find the name from here. See in this example how a freelancer's feedback reveals the client name. In this case, you can say hi Jeremy instead of only a hi. But what if the client are new to Upwork and doesn't get any feedback yet? Then you can check the job post carefully for a name. In many job posts, clients mention their company name or website. In that case, you can address by the company name like Dear World Bank Client. If the job post doesn't have the information to, then check About the Client section just right side of the job post. You see, it shows where the clients live. As you see in the image, the clients live in London. You don't have the name, right? So you can say hi London client. At least it works far better than a simple hi. Once I posted a job for some of my work. I didn't mention my name or company info in the post. One of the freelancers started with Dear Mumbai client. This word Mumbai, I don't know why, click on my head. And I started reading her proposal and finally hired her. You see how a simple trick of her made me emotionally attached and later helped her to win the job. So this is the starting. Rather than saying hi, address the client by their name, company or even the location. Now it's time to get a mental yes from the client and you need to get it from your first line or first 2 line max. I always recommend binding this in the very first line, not the second or third. What you need is a trigger line about the solution that clients are looking for. If you read the job post very carefully, you see clients give some information about what they need. You need to pull out one of the most important information and just use it. Okay, here is a job post and it said need a brochure finished. Have content from previous brochure website and design that's already started but needs to be complete in a timely manner with content jazzed up. Brochure is for healthcare company. I can provide logo, images, old brochure and the start of the new brochure in PDF. Need design done in 8 hours. So I send a proposal like that. Hi Paula, I can help you finish the brochure design within less than 8 hours. But to do it, I need more information. Are you available now for a quick discussion? Thanks. You see, I start with the name of the client. It took 1 extra minute to find her name, but it worked better than other competitors. Rather than writing a long proposal, I kept it short. The reason behind it was she needed it very urgently. Means she needed to hire someone very fast. And I got this info from the job description. Need design done in 8 hours. Right? I used this as a trigger line and win a $200 job. Here is another example. You can see how even with my incapability, I still managed to win the job by using the right trigger line. The job post was, we are looking to hire an experienced and extremely talented editorial designer to create workbooks and PowerPoint presentations for an online course called the School of Freedom. The workbooks will be both for online download but also for print. As for the PowerPoint presentation, they will simply be the same as the workbook pages but in PowerPoint form. Here is the first of all 8 workbooks. Then the clients give some links, and this is an old version that we are looking to update and modernize. You can see the new logo for inspiration. And my proposal was, hello Alexandra, I have seen your first 52 pages workbook and don't understand the language. Is it mandatory to know the language you used in the workbook? If yes, I am quitting right now. But if no, I can help you finish the project. It was my pleasure working with Sagar. Very quick to respond, followed my directions and was very helpful overall with my project. The testimonial is taken directly from one of my Upwork clients. I did a 270 pages long workbook that helps people to fight stress. You can see the work by clicking at the link. There is another 88 pages workbook I create for an event management class you may want to see. In both cases, I used Adobe InDesign. By the way, have you talked to a printer yet? If yes, what are the print specifications for your workbook? Here are some of my PowerPoint works. I am interested to hear more about your work, the design style you are looking for, and other small details in your mind. A brief discussion of the project would be very helpful. Are you available for a 5 minutes Upwork chat? You see, in the first line, I again use the name and write first 52 pages workbook. The client never said how many pages in the workbook in her job post. She only gave a link. I checked the link and count the pages. This extra effort told the client that I cared for her job. And the words don't understand the language told that I was honest with my work. That's how, even the lack of that language knowledge, I outshined 20 to 50 freelancers and own the job. That's simple. You need to find out a piece of important information to trigger, and in maximum cases, you can find it in the job description. Now, there are some posts where it is difficult to find some important information. In that case, you can repeat the client's word as a trigger line. Let me explain with an example. It was a job post from one of my clients. It said, to apply, please point to your print portfolio. Hi, we need an InDesign catalog template. Graphic elements, colors and font should be reflect the company website. Very basic, light and white. 5 pages. Cover, company profile, index, product page to accommodate the product as in the PDF sample, back cover. We could have plenty of opportunities like that in the near future. And my proposal was, hi Luca, I see you are looking for a 5 pages catalog design, nice and clean. I'll be happy to help you with the project. Can you please share me the link to your website so that I can get a general idea of what type of look and feel you already have and how can I use this in the catalog? I have posted 2 of my past projects which are most relevant and my Behance portfolio link. Anyway, do you have 10 minutes for a quick discussion via Upwork? Thanks. You see how I repeat the client's need in a single line and win a $105 job. All he needed was a 5 pages InDesign catalog. And this is what I wrote in the very first line. I see you are looking for a 5 pages catalog design, nice and clean. This is the easiest way if you cannot pull some very important needs out from the job post. Just repeat the client's word. Another effective way to create a trigger line is to ask a question very related to the problem or relevant to the job post. Now asking a question is a little tricky. Do not ask something that requires too much time to answer. Like if you are asking for the client's opinion or how they want to start, it will be difficult for them to answer. They need to think before answering it. So chances are they just skip you and check out the next freelancer in the row. So keep your questions simple and make sure clients don't have to think hard to answer your question. A question with the answer yes or no is always the best question to ask. Let me show you an example. You can see how a good question can win a job even if the job description is not that clear. The job post was like that. I am looking for someone who can help me finalize, design and print a custom marketing project. It would require having printing capacity to print out the collateral in small batches and do some die cutting type work. I will provide the graphic design. You can provide suggestions for changing it or improving it and then get it printed. And my proposal was, hi Jillian, what do you need exactly? Is it a multiple booklet type material or a single page flyer or brochure? I am interested to know the detail about the project. As I am not sure about the industry or business or the design style you are looking for, so rather than showing you 1 to 2 projects, I just put my Behance portfolio link for you. If you come up with more details, I can show you relevant projects I did earlier and can give you my best suggestions to make your existing design more beautiful. However, when is a good time to talk to you? Best wishes. Now you see, the job post was not that clear and it seemed the client didn't have a clear vision about what she wanted. That's why I started with the question, what do you need exactly? But that was not a question easy to answer, right? Actually, that was irritating. Probably she was thinking, what does the hell mean, need exactly? She needed to think, right? That's why I put the second line with some option. Is it a multiple booklet type material or single page flyer or brochure? Whenever she viewed the second line, she saw something that should be mentioned in that job post. It somehow made me likable because I was pointing the client to a particular direction. The result, I own the job with a $50 per hour rate. This is how a simple question can be a trigger one. Now I am going to talk about another technique to write a trigger line. You can do this by appreciating the client. Here is a caution. I want to mention that appreciating the client doesn't mean licking their boots. People don't like adulators. So if you don't find anything really appreciable, don't even do that. It will surely backfire and you just lost some of your connects. Here is an example for you. The job post was like, I have a mock-up of a 2-page flyer that I would like to be professionally designed. I have attached the mock-up for your review. The mock-up is done in Adobe InDesign and some of the assets are created in Adobe Illustrator. I will provide the Adobe files for you to work from. I would like 2 versions of the final design. One that includes the placeholders on page, one for sales executive pictures and contact information. The second design should be redesigned to exclude the information on page 1. Everything else should remain constant. You can change the layout, assets, color scheme, fonts and messaging as you see fit. If you would like to recommend different assets for me to purchase, please feel free to do so. The only thing you can't change is the company logo itself. We just put the original flyer together to help get you started. From a work product perspective, I would like you to work in Adobe InDesign so that I can get the working files back. I need those files so I can update for new sales executives as we bring them on board. Unfortunately, I have a tight timeline on this project. I will need it to be completed by 12 p.m. EST on Monday, July 13. Accordingly, I will select someone to do the work by 5 p.m. EST on July 26. Thank you for considering this project. And my proposal was, hi Corey, out of 10 job posts, I rarely see one organized post like yours. You are too clear about your needs. I appreciate it. I have seen the PDF and as a designer, I think there should be more space to breathe. It is a good design but pretty congested. More spaces can make it more beautiful. For example, we can make the steps and the important notes section more prominent. And again, InDesign is a good choice for the print related task. By the way, the top link is a brochure I have created for Health Lucid. Though your project is unique, it is, I think, pretty similar in the sense of design. Here is the testimonial from the satisfied client of Health Proceed. And then I put the testimonial and hope to hear from you by 5 p.m. EST on July 26th. Best regards. Finally, I owned that quick job and earned $115 within just 2 hours. The client was so happy that he gave me $15 extra for that work. That's the L of my LSD method. Let's check it just one time more from top to bottom. In this L part, our goal is to become likable to the client. And to do it, we are approaching two methods. The first one is to address the client properly. It may be their name or company or where they live. And the second method is to write a single line that can attach your client emotionally and drive them to keep reading. To make the first line a trigger one, you may use the most important info from the job post or repeat the client's word as a trigger line if there is not much info, or can ask an easy question that is relevant to the job, or can appreciate the clients for their works in the first line. So that's it. We are done with the first hack that I call L or likable. In the next lesson, I will talk about S or solver. Thank you so much. See you in the next lesson. Welcome back. In the last lesson, I told you how you can be likable to the client by applying the L hack. Now, it's time to prove the client that you are a solver. That is, you understand the problem and are capable of doing the job. You have the skill set and the authority to make the project more than successful. It doesn't mean to show clients your certificates. Focus on their problem first and give them a solution. After that, go with your academic skill, awards and other stuff if necessary. Let's talk all the approaches one by one. There are several ways to do it. My favorite way is to give clients some room. Before explaining it, let me share my experience of buying a shoe. I once went to a local shop for a jogging shoe. The workers showed me samples bringing out from their hidden store once after another and tried to sell almost every piece. I was looking for a particular type and they showed me something that is far from my expectation. So I went to demand. There is a whole floor full of shoes. I got a chance to check and pick anyone I like. No one was going to force me to buy. But it doesn't mean there was nobody to help. Many of the workers were there, gossiping or just pacing. In fact, they were watching all the customers, but in a manner that you never notice them. You never feel uncomfortable. And when you are confused, looking for someone to help, one of them comes and asks politely, "How can I help you, sir?" You see the difference? Both are selling products. But in one place you feel uncomfortable and in the other place you have a space to think, choose and pick. The same approach you can use in Upwork to prove that you are a good fit for the job. How can you do it? It is simple. Just give some relevant samples of your works at the beginning of your proposals so that they can check them first and then can proceed. This approach gives the client some space to think about. It's better to see your work first rather than reading 1,000 words about you, isn't it? If they like your work, they obviously read your proposal. If you want to show your works, it is very important how you are going to show them. The oldest way is to attach your work and tell the client to see the attachment. But attachments have some drawbacks. First thing, Upwork allows only 25 MB file as an attachment. So if you have a file bigger than 25 MB, you can't attach it. Now you can solve this issue by creating a zip file or a RAR file. But many clients don't have the required software to open it, or some don't know how to open a zip file. So it will not work in that case. And finally, downloading an attachment and checking them is time taking and literally boring. It may be difficult for some cases too, like when a client is using a mobile and the mobile hasn't enough space to save your attachment. So I advise you to skip attachments. In the beginning, I did the same mistakes too, and I heard from the client that the zip file can't be opened or downloaded, etc. Our goal is to make the client's life easy, not to give them a challenge, right? So, what's the right way? This is using a link. If you have a website or blog or use some platform like Dribble or GitHub, you can use a direct link. But what if you don't have any? You have a Gmail account, right? Nowadays, almost everybody has a Gmail account. Gmail gives every user 15 GB space for use called Google Drive. You can upload your works in Google Drive and send them a direct link to it. For saving time, you can upload all or some of your projects in your leisure time. It will save some time of uploading files while you are applying for the job. If you don't know how to use Google Drive, search on YouTube. There are thousands of videos on Google Drive. It's very basic. It will take you 10 minutes maximum to learn it. Then upload the files there, upload them in an organized manner. You can create folders inside Google Drive to get things organized. Now, why should you need to be organized? Because when you are applying for a job, you cannot put your entire Google Drive link to your proposal. It will confuse your clients. Giving them the entire portfolio is somehow disturbing. They don't have the time or intention to check every piece of your portfolio items. So be like a librarian. You should have a clear idea what you are going to show your client. Select only the relevant items and give it to them. Do not overflood the clients with relevant portfolio items. One single piece of your best work is more than enough. But if you want to show more, try to keep it within maximum 3. Here comes the confusion. That is, what should I do? May I put work links first or may I put my trigger line at the top? You can do both. You may put the trigger line first and then put your work links, or you may put your work links first and then the trigger line. Both work great. In my cases, the work link works better as I designed my Upwork profile as a graphic designer. I normally give the clients room to see my works at first, but if you are from a different area like a marketer or copywriter, maybe you should start with the trigger line. It's experimental, Try 5 to 6 proposals and you can figure out which one works best for you. Another approach to prove your authority is to use testimonials from other clients. If you are telling the client you are the best, the client will not care. But if others are saying the same, they definitely do. So, if you have some relevant testimonials, use it. Now, you may ask, a testimonial and relevancy? Yes. Choosing random testimonial or relevant testimonial is a different thing. A relevant testimonial impacts a lot for decision making. Suppose you are a digital marketer. You do Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing and Google Ads. You did 3 types of works for different clients and got many different testimonials from your clients. Some about your skill on FB marketing, some about your ad campaign and some about your Instagram skill. Now, if you are going to send a proposal for a YouTube ad campaign, which testimonial will you use? It is obviously the Google Ads testimonial, isn't it? And like work links, do not overflood the client with so many testimonials. Use only one, that's enough. But if you are very new and didn't get any feedback from clients, then you can skip it. A testimonial is a good approach to prove yourself, but it is not the least. Here is a professional tip for you. While you are using a testimonial and work link both, try to put that particular work link for which you received this testimonial and mention clearly that you received the testimonial for this particular work on your proposal. Let me show you an example. You see, the client was looking for a graphic designer to redesign a slideshow that will be looped on TV screens at a charity golf tournament. And here is my proposal. Dear client, do you have the written content ready for the slideshow? How many slides are you planning for the slideshow? Then I put a testimonial, and after that the testimonial is taken directly from one of my happy client. I did a 10 slides PPT for them to present it to their donor. You can see the work by clicking the below links. Also, there are 3 more works I did for XYZ companies you may want to see. And then I put some work links. I have seen the big hearted Marveig's brand book and I can produce a slideshow that goes with the brand guideline. Anyway, a brief discussion of the project would be very helpful. Are you available for a 5 minutes Upwork chat? You see, I mentioned that the testimonial I received from McKinsey Institute and also put the link of the work I did for McKinsey Institute with other links. Here I did a mistake though. I should have told that you can see the work by clicking on the third link rather than saying you can see the work by clicking the below links. Anyway, it didn't make a problem to win a $200 job. I know you are not going to do the same mistake. Well, let's see another approach to show you are a problem solver or an authority. And that is giving clients some suggestions that can help to solve the problem. Giving a suggestion is not an easy thing to do. People often take this in the wrong way. Nobody wants you to lecture on their work. So, if you are not very good at your work, you cannot give the right suggestions, right? Now, here are 2 things you need to keep in mind while giving suggestions. First of all, be polite. Don't say your suggestion is a must to do. Just say, as a professional, you did similar types of job before and your suggestion may help to solve the client's problem. And secondly, don't give a long list of suggestions. Keep it short. And rather than using a long paragraph, use a short paragraph. Or better, use a numbered list or bullet points. The list should be 3 or 4 points maximum. Here is an example of how I win a job by giving the client a proper suggestion. The job post says, I am working on a logo and need to find 2 icons or maybe slightly larger than an icon that are in a watercolor style. I want them to look similar to the attached. And my proposal was like that. Hi, I have seen the attachment you gave and I think the best approach for getting best result is to draw icon on a drawing paper, then watercolor it and take photograph and make it digitalized using Photoshop. This is what I am going to do. It will give you the perfect result as per your need. What do you think? Thanks. See how the right suggestions can help you to win a job? Check the testimonial from the client. He also mentioned how that suggestion went great and produced a result beyond his expectations. Anyway, let's see what should you do while suggesting clients for a rework type of job. Sometimes clients need some upgrade of their existing work. As a professional, you may see that the existing work is just a disaster. Don't tell directly how bad is their current work is. Even it is bad, clients don't want to hear it from a third party. Actually, nobody does. No matter how old is your car, you still love it, don't you? Even if you are going to sell it. The same thing happens here. How bad the work is, the client loves their business. That's why the renovation. You should point out how you can improve it, but never tell how bad it is and why it is ugly. Here is an example for you. You see, the job was just cleaning off a very unorganized file. And my proposal was like that. Hi, by when do you need it completed in tomorrow? I just want to estimate the exact time left for the project. I see your one pager. It is no doubt good and unique. It can be more attractive by changing some small details like milestone part by using a divider between each line. For each section, we can use an icon like the fact, problems, solutions, etc. The alignment of the text background and image are not in line. We can change it to, and we can look after many small details like that. If you are interested, we can discuss the project. At the top, I have posted 2 to 3 of my past projects you may like to see. Are you available for a quick chat now? I knew that the file was ugly but didn't mention it in the cover letter. I just mentioned how it can be more attractive. And you see, I didn't give a lot of suggestions too. Just three with a numbered list. The result? I earned $850 from that job. Another approach is to ask question. Again, the question you are asking must be relevant to the project and keep it short and to the point. If you have more than one question, then use numbered list or bullet points. Again, do not overflood with so many questions. Three questions are good enough. Here is an example of how I own a job by asking the right questions. The job post was like that. This is a short-term project and will need to have the first version done by EOD Eastern Time in the US for the final product to be completed by EOD Monday EST in the US. The deliverable is a PDF handout design from a Word document with some facts and figures that need to be designed. Okay, so you see, the client need to design a PDF handout. Well, and my proposal was like that. Hi, as time is very sensitive here, so let's get to the point. What is the paper size of your handout? Do you need it for print? Then what should be the print specification? Do you mind if I create a front cover for the handout? Do you want to keep the PDF 2 pages only, or may I extend it if needed? Here are three works I did for the World Bank, McKinsey Institute and XYZ you may want to see. Are you available now for a quick chat? Thanks. You see, I own the job too. Another approach is to be confident. Most of the freelancers send their proposals in a wrong manner. They literally are begging for the job. This is a very bad approach. People who don't have self-respect can't expect respect from others too. I personally know people who had an MBA degree or an engineering degree and still they stand up in a queue for a job where class 8 standard education is the criteria. Years after years, they do the same thing hoping that their extra qualification can help them to get a job. But no, it never happens. Their qualification becomes null and void because of their lack of confidence. If they are confident enough, they look for the jobs that fit their qualifications, isn't it? In the newspaper and TV, you may see that the number of people without jobs increasing day by day. Also, at the same time, you may hear that companies are dying for qualified and honest employees. Disrespecting own self is one of the reasons for that. People normally underjudge them when this is a question of getting a job, and this wrong judgment is clearly seen in their proposals. So, do not underjudge your quality. Are you good enough with your work? If yes, show the confidence in your proposal. Now, this doesn't mean to be overconfident or rude. Respect yourself as well as the client and confidently stick to your point and express your reason clear and loud. I want to share a job that I own. The post was like that. Create a simple clean looking template and format 17 slides. Color will have to follow specific brand guidelines. Accent design colors and here is a list of colors. Must receive back by 11 p.m. ET this evening. Extra bonus $50 if provided by 8 p.m. ET. I write my proposal like that. Hi, what is the exact time on your watch now? This is very challenging and I dare to take your challenge, but with a single condition. You need to communicate within 1 hour max. Because in my experience, I have seen many job posts with very urgent tags and the clients never bother to interview a single freelancer. Hope you are an exception. As you asked, I have posted some links to my best works below. When can we talk? Thanks. You see how I confidently told my point to the client? This is the fact that many clients post jobs with urgent tag and they become unresponsive. Stating that fact, I put my own condition and not only own the job but also get $50 bonus too. Here is another approach and that is to mention your awards or your academic qualification. Though this is not a very favorite approach of mine, people really don't care about your academic qualification until unless this is something really big and authorized by some renowned institute like Google or Microsoft or something like that. Anyway, you can use it but keep it very short. 2 lines are good enough. So that's all about S. I'm not saying to use all approaches together. It will make your cover letter unnecessarily big. Using one approach or a bunch of 2 to 3 approaches can produce an outstanding result. So let's check the S part one time more from top to bottom. In this S part, our goal is to prove our authority by becoming a problem solver. And to do it, we are approaching one or more of the 6 methods. Approach 1. Give clients some room. Give relevant samples of your works at the beginning. Don't use attachments. Use links from your website, blog, a portfolio site or Google Drive. Approach 2. Use testimonials from other clients. Approach 3. Give the clients some suggestions. Be polite. Give a maximum number of 3 suggestions. Use a short paragraph, a numbered list or bullet points. Approach 4. Ask relevant questions. Ask a maximum of 3 questions. Keep your questions to the point. Approach 5. Show confidence in your cover letter. And finally, approach 6. Mention special awards, certifications if you have any. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next lesson with the last part, that is D. Best wishes. Welcome back. We are now at the ending part of your proposal, what I called a D, that is a doable action. This is not an action you need to do. It is an easy doable action for the client. You just ask them to do it. It means you should end your proposal with a call to action. I already told you in the second session about a CTA. So you already know it, right? Now what you should ask is a little tricky. Well, make it very simple. Do not ask for a long discussion or do not ask for a list of their needs. Ask something that can be answered easily, literally by a simple yes or no. Think, if you are asking like, what is your thought about my suggestions? This is something clients can answer quickly, unless until your suggestion is very impressive. In general, this type of question makes them pause because they need to think before answering your question. Your goal is to open a room for conversation. More clients pause, it becomes more difficult for you. So be tricky and try to figure out a question that can be answered without even thinking. Let's check some samples question here. Are you available for a 5 minutes chat now? You see, the answer can be yes or no. Can you show me your current pitch deck? Again, the answer is yes or no. Have you run an ad campaign before? Answer yes or no. Do you notice? All of them can be answered by simple yes or no. This is what our goal, just to get the answer to our question. See, here are 2 screenshots from my Upwork message. You can notice how the clients responded to my questions. In the first case, the client said, yes, she can talk. In the second case, the client went one step further. He provided his Skype for talking. See, that's our goal, to start a conversation. And once you start a conversation, you can lead it to a win. That's it. That is how the LSD method works. Now before ending, I want to tell you 2 more tips that will help you a lot. When you are finished writing your proposal, don't press the submit button immediately. Read it loudly so that you can hear it. It will help you to find out if there is any mistake in your proposal copy. And secondly, I suggest you use the Grammarly app as a browser extension. This app is amazing and will help you to correct your spelling and grammar mistakes. You don't need to buy their subscriptions. The free version is just great. So that's it. Now you get an entire picture of persuasive proposals. For your help, I am attaching a proposal checklist sheet with this lesson. Download it and make sure you are applying the method properly. Now, as your proposals need connects and connects needs money, so for practice purpose, select 3 to 4 job posts daily and select those jobs which you think you are a good fit. You don't have to submit the proposals. Just select them and start to write the proposals for practice. Save them in a Word doc or other notes. And the very next day, check the previous day's work and find out how it can be more effective. Initially, it will take time and actually this is boring. In the beginning, it will take hours to write a winning proposal and checking them will take time too. But doing this for 1 or 2 weeks will make you so faster you can ever imagine. After a few days, you will be able to write great proposals within a few minutes. So keep practicing. With regular practice, you will become a master of this and can create your own style of writing. Right? I know you can. So, why waiting? Download the checklist and start writing your own proposals. See you in the next lesson. Thank you. Welcome back. Now you already know how to write a proposal that works. You know how the LSD method can lead a simple proposal to a conversion and then to a win. Here come some important questions related to the proposal. In this lesson, we will cover all those questions one by one. The first question is, what clients see while posting a job? You may ask, why should I know this? Is this going to help? Yes, it will. If you see things from the client side, it will be easy to prioritize things while sending a proposal, right? Let's check out. In the very first step, they have to choose the short time or long time project. Then they need to set a title for the job post. And once the title is set, Upwork automatically displays some category that fits with the title. Clients can select a category from there or can select by clicking on See More options. Then they need to describe the job. They can attach related files with the description too. After the description, they have to select the project type, like a one-time project or ongoing project or a complex project. And then clients get an option to set screening questions. Clicking on the Add button gives two options. First, select from suggested or recent, and second, create my own questions. If clients go with the suggested or recent, you see there is a list of suggested questions. Clients have an option to select maximum 5 of them, or they can create their own questions. We will discuss this screening questions parts later in this course. Anyway, clients have to select the skill and additional skills then, though this is optional. Next, to select the job post visibility. That is, if the job is going to be public or Upwork talent or invite only job. The clients can select one or multiple freelancers for the project too. Once the client sets it, then they can also add some additional qualifications by clicking on the Add button in the talent preference sections. This is also an optional part. Actually, from the talent preference section, the client can select an individual or an agency, can select freelancers based on their job success score, freelancers from a preferred location, freelancers from a preferred group, freelancers based on how many hours they build on Upwork, freelancers who have rising talent badge, and freelancers based on their English skill level. In the very next step, they have to set a budget. They can set a fixed rate or can set an hourly for the job. Also, they have to set freelancers experience level, that is entry level freelancers or intermediate level freelancer or expert level freelancer. And they can also set the project duration. Finally, at the last stage, they can review and post the job. So, this is all about posting a job. Let's deal with the second question. The second question is, does every invite you receive a quality invite? No, it's not. Let me explain why. You already know how a client posts a job. Once the job is posted, Upwork sends the client a list of freelancers that Upwork thinks a good fit for the job. Clients can invite randomly from the list or can search freelancers on their own. Many clients send invitation based on the Upwork list. They don't have the time or energy to search for any freelancer according to their needs. In those cases, the invitation you receive just a random one. Also, in many cases, Upwork helps clients to find freelancers for their job. So, they send invitations on behalf of the clients. In my experience, many of these invitations are totally irrelevant, no matches with your skill. You see, here I got an invitation from an Upwork talent specialist. It says, uh, Hi, I'm a talent specialist from Upwork who helps freelancers and clients use Upwork to connect. I thought you might be interested in the job post. Administrator, since your background and skills appear to match the job requirements, I encourage you to submit a proposal. If you think it's a good fit for your freelance business, it's up to you to determine whether you are interested in and qualified for this job. No connects are needed when you accept a job invitation. You can find project details within the job post administrator. The client will ultimately decide who to hire. So please direct any message about this job post to the client through Upwork messages. Well, nice to hear, right? The truth is totally opposite. Let me show you the job post. It says Senior Geo Golang Python Developer, Remote Long-Term Engagement. Looking for a highly motivated and startup-minded senior Geo Python engineer to join our tight-knit team and blah blah blah. Okay, see, I got an invitation for doing some Python developing work while I didn't know anything about programming. This happens. So each invite you receive is not a good fit for you. You need to check out what actually is for you. So here comes the third questions. What to check when receiving an invitation or applying for a job? When you get an invitation or applying for a job, click on the view job posting link. It will give you the entire details about the job post. Now, first of all, read the job post carefully. Is that a match with your expertise and quality? If no, you have to stop here right now. Otherwise, check the right side of the page and you find details about the client here. First check if there is any badge here like Upwork Plus client or Upwork Enterprise client. If there is a badge like that, it means the client purchased Upwork special plan, which means they are willing to work on this platform. So you can consider a job post or an invitation as a good one if it comes from a special badge client. But hold, don't make your decision so fast. We have more to check. Second thing is to check the payment method. Is it verified? Yes, then great. If no, then there is a chance that the client posts a job and never come back to the platform. So be careful if there is no verified payment method. Sometimes many new clients post job on Upwork without verifying their payment method. They think they can add it later, but they really want to hire someone. I once got an invitation from a client without a verified payment method, but later I earned $1,800 from that project. But how could you gauge the client's intention? Well, you can get an idea from their job post. Check, is it really a descriptive one? Is it clearly tells about the client's need? People sometimes post a job from a mobile device with full of typos and within 2 to 3 lines max. Avoid these types of job, especially if they have not a verified payment method. Here is another technique of cross-checking if the client without a verified payment method is worthy or not. If you see the client is very new, like the client joined Upwork last week and post the job today, it means maybe the client doesn't even know how to verify a payment method or think it can be done later. So you can accept the invitation or can send a proposal if the client is new and the job post is clear and loud. Now comes the most important thing, and that is the hire rate. For an invitation, this section doesn't matter so much because you are not losing any connect, right? But when you are applying for a public job post, check this section very carefully. A client with a very low hire rate means probably the client will not going to hire anyone. Applying for a job where the client has a very low hire rate can simply cost your connects, that is your money. I see clients with a 10% hire rate too. Means the clients post 10 jobs and hire for only one job. Isn't it weird? So it will be wise to avoid such clients. Now there is no exact rule to figure out what percentage is good. But in my opinion, you should avoid clients whose hire rate is less than 60 to 65%. Now check out the client is easy to work with or not. You can figure it out by checking the ratings. A 4 plus star rating means the client is great to work with. But what if you see the ratings below 4 stars? In that case, check the client's recent history, just below the job description. Find out why the rating is low. If you see most freelancers gave the client great ratings except one or two, it means the client is okay to work with. Sometimes a good client receives an unfair rating from one or two freelancers, and this makes the entire score bad. That's why you need to check out at least 3 to 4 reviews and then make your decision. Finally, check the client's strength. Is the client a high ticket client? You can calculate this from the client's total spend, the average hourly rate paid, and the number of job posts. Also, check the client's recent history. Find out how much they are paying for each recent project. What's the hourly rate they are paying for the last few projects? You will get an idea from there too. See the example? Let's break it down. Here we see the client spent 10k plus with an average 13.06 hourly rate, and the client posts only 8 jobs and has a 75% hire rate. This means they hire for 6 jobs, right? The client is an Upwork member from April 2019. The client joined just 6 months ago. For 6 jobs, the client paid 10k plus, which means each job has an average 1.6k plus value, which means the client can provide big projects. Secondly, the client spent 10k plus in 6 months. Many Upwork clients spend an average of 10k or less in a year. So the client is far better than other clients. This is how you can check a job post or an invitation is fit for you or not. One last thing I want to mention while you get an invitation. That is to check how many invitations are sent by the client. If you see the clients send so many invitations, try to avoid the invitation. In my experience, the clients who really want to hire someone send fewer invitations to some selected freelancers, maybe 10 to 15 or 20 invitations max. But I see people sending 50 plus invitations and never ever interview a single one. In most cases, they are spammers. You should avoid these spammers, but before doing that, please cross check with the other 6 criteria I mentioned earlier. Many new clients don't understand what they need. That's why sometimes good clients also send too many invitations. So cross checking is a necessary part. That's it. Let's jump into the next question. And that is how to answer an invitation. You already know the answer. Use the same LSD method for answering the invitation. But remember, an invitation is always better than sending proposals, because whoever invites you are surely interested in you. They checked your profile and then decide to send you an invitation if this is not a random and irrelevant invitation. So, in the case of an invitation, you are one step ahead of sending the proposals, right? The client is already interested to work with you. What you need is to close the deal. Most freelancers start with the phrases like thank you for your invitation. Please try to avoid this. That sounds like the same to the clients. Just apply the LSD method and it will give you a better result than a simple thank you at the very beginning. Still, you want to thank the client? No problem. You can do it. My advice is write things that are very relevant to the job at first and then say thanks to the client. Let me show you some example. Here is an invitation I got and you see it says Avada WP fixing, adding, coding and redesign have to be ML responsive, compatible to all. You see, the job is an invite only job, not a public post. Anyway, here is my answer. I have been checking your website and I want to thank you from my heart because you are doing really a great job by helping people to quit smoking. One of my relatives got cancer for this dangerous habit. Thumbs up. Let's talk business. You need a WordPress website. Now, it has two meanings. That you are using any WordPress template and modify it, or you can create UI design for each individual pages and then create the WordPress site accordingly. The question is, what do you want to do? Well, if you have some time to discuss the project, it will be great. Can you please message me a suitable time for a quick Upwork chat? Thanks for the invitation. You see, I started with addressing the client by his name and appreciate him for his work. That is becoming likable. Then ask him a very relevant questions. That is becoming a problem solver. And finally end with the CTA. And at the very last, I thanked him for the invitation. That's simple. And obviously, I own the job. Even WordPress was not my special area. Now, if this was a public job post, I never applied for the job because the job title clearly told that was not my area of work. But as it was an invitation, so I took the chance. I have a little knowledge of WordPress and I thought I can do it with this knowledge. So I accepted it. But if I knew nothing about WordPress, I surely declined it. So if you have little experience, you can take your chance too. But again, be honest. If you feel you cannot make it, just decline the invitation. Here is another example of an invitation. You see, this is again an invite only job and here is my answer. You see, I just pointed out the problem and told exactly what to do to solve it. Simple, short and to the point. Even no formal thanks for inviting me. And yeah, I own the short time job with a $50 per hour rate. That's it. Now you understand how to answer an invitation, right? Let's check out the next question. The next question is, what should you do if you see the invitation is not a good fit? I already told you that many invitations are random and sometimes irrelevant. So what to do with such invitations? Just decline them because decline an invitation is a must do. Why? Let me explain it. If you check your profile page, on the very right side you notice a section called availability. There you see your response time. Response time means how quickly you connect or answer your clients. Suppose you get 10 invitations and 4 of them are irrelevant. You didn't accept or decline them and keep them as it is for weeks. Yes, many freelancers do this mistake. Now what happens in that case? The Upwork will consider this as a lack of your responsiveness and your response rate will go down. Now a client surely prefers a freelancer with a response rate of 24 hours minus than a freelancer with a response rate of 3 days plus, isn't it? So, a bad response rate not only makes your impression bad to the clients but also make your impression bad to the Upwork search algorithm. That's why decline invitation is a must do. There is another reason for which you should decline the irrelevant invitations. While you decline an invitation, Upwork normally asks for a reason. You see a pop-up with a list of reasons like job is not fit for my skill, not interested, too busy on other projects, and so on. You just need to select any one or just type your own reason by selecting other. Now, while you are choosing any reason, you are giving Upwork the information why you are doing this, right? With this information, the Upwork search algorithm can find more suitable invitations for you. That's why if you see an invitation that is irrelevant, just decline it. That's all about the invitation. Now we will check about the screening questions, and that is how to answer the screening questions. In many job posts, you might see some questions that are asked. Remember what a client sees while posting a job? They see a list of selected questions. You can download the mostly asked screening question list attached to this video. Anyway, in most cases, clients select questions randomly from the list, and sometimes the questions are out of context. But still, these questions have played an important role in the selection process. You know why? Because this is the first thing the client sees when opening your proposal. Yes, not the proposal. The questions come first, as you see on the screen. So, you need to gain the attention of the client in the very first question. And again, you can apply the same LSD method to answer it. Let me show you an example. As you see, the job was to design a report on violent extremists in Africa. With this job post, the client asked a question. Actually, it was 3 questions randomly picked from the Upwork's list. The questions are: what past project or job have you had that is most like this one, and why? Why do you think you are a good fit for this particular project? What challenging part of this job are you most experienced in? And I answered these questions as, Dear UK client, I notice you are looking for help designing 2 of your products in a visually appealing way, countering violent extremism over the last year and a half. It seems to me that your projects are completely real life based and will be a great help for humanity. I appreciate your effort indeed. A few days back, I designed a one-page layout for XYZ, a non-profit company that helps kids all over the world. Below is the testimonial of the satisfied client. I attach the outcome PDF for you with this application. Please see the attachment. Sagar has high attention to details and the mindset to complete the task to my satisfaction. Very attentive to my feedback and fast on the keyboard. In short, splendid to work with him, and I will do it again in the future. If you are looking for another style of work, I can show you an annual report I did for XYZ. Please see the attachment. Still need more? Feel free to message me. I'll be happy to send you some more examples. I did more than 15 plus designs like yours over the last 6 months, and my expertise in InDesign and Illustrator helped me to make design stand out. Thanks. You see, I didn't go through the common path as all other freelancers do. Rather than giving some of my past projects or my qualification list, I just pursued the client from the beginning. Dear UK client was the first step, and then I appreciate their work, which made me likable, the L of the LSD method. And then giving relevant projects with the testimonial established my authority, that is the S or solver from the LSD method. And finally, I asked the client to message me if they need different examples, that is D or doable action from the LSD method. This is how I focused on the question first and then the cover letter. As I mentioned almost every relevant part in the screening question, so I made my cover letter very small. It was like, Hi, I see your job post carefully and it seems very interesting to me. I'd love to work with such projects you have created. I have some questions about the design part. 1. Are the designs going to be used on the web or they are for print? 2. Can you tell me the paper size? 3. Do you have any logo of your organization? However, if I can answer any questions for you, please click on the send message button for a brief discussion. Thanks for your time to read my proposal. Best wishes. See, in this cover letter, I also applied some approaches from the LSD method. And yes, I earned $1,100 from that project. That's the technique you need to apply when you are answering a screening question. Now, some screening questions are not from the list. It means clients knows very well what they are asking. In that case, answer to the point. Don't try to get out of the context. Let me show you an example. The job was to redesign a PowerPoint file, but you see, the question was different, not from the Upwork list. It says, what makes your design different? My answer was consistency. This is the most important difference. You can see my works and you will find that every slide is consistent according to design aesthetics, like the margin, colors, space, fonts and other design elements. Here are some works you may want to see. So, I clearly answered what the client needs, but also give the client some work samples here. Why is this? Because I wanted to prove my authority and I have to prove that in the answer. What if the client never goes down to check my proposal where I put all work links? So I didn't give her that chance, but also didn't make it robotic. I put the work links as it was the part of the answer. You see how a tricky answer can work better than a formal one? Be honest with your answer. Keep it short to the point. No extra talks. But still, try to apply one or two approaches from the LSD method to prove that you are capable. This $120 job later expanded to $1,300 and now this client is one of my regular clients. That's all about the screening questions. I hope you now understand how to answer the questions without fear and why you should focus on the question first. We are almost done. The only question remains, and that is how to find the appropriate job in the public job post. Well, you can do it by using filters. To do it, just write what type of job you are looking for in the search job box and then click on the filters button. It will give you a few options to select from. First, the job type. You can select an hourly or fixed rate job. I prefer it to keep any job type. Second, experience level. You can select entry level or intermediate or expert level. But again, I prefer any experience level. You know why? Because many high ticket clients pay a high amount even for an entry level job. So, why should you block that chance? Third, client history. Again, I prefer any client history because no hires means they are new clients. And I personally work with many new clients and those end very well. Fourth, client info. Payment verified clients is my preference. Fifth, number of proposal. Set it less than 5, 5 to 10 and 10 to 15 together. You can push it up to 15 to 20, but 20 plus proposals are too competitive. The chance of seeing your proposal by the client gets down here. Well, sixth is budget. Now it's up to you. If you are looking for a particular amount, set it accordingly. In my case, I normally skip this part. Seventh, hours per week. This section is for an hourly job. I love to work both on small and long projects. So I keep it any hours per week. But if you are looking for a long-term job, you can select more than 30 hours per week. 8th, project length. The same concept as 7th, but this is for a fixed rate job. So if you are looking for a long-term job, you can select 3 to 6 months and more than 6 months together, but I prefer to keep it as it is by default. Ninth, the category. This is the most important part. Select it wisely from the drop-down list. Do not stick with a single category. Select a relevant category and all other categories similar to the relevant category together for a better result. For example, if you are a PowerPoint presentation designer, you can select the entire design and creative section rather than select only presentations. Because with PowerPoint, you can do everything listed in the design and creative section except photography and voice talent. If you want, you can uncheck these two options. Well, now the client location. You can select clients from any country you like, but I personally like to skip it. Finally, the talent cloud section. This is not for every freelancer. If you work with an Upwork enterprise client, then you can earn this badge. I work for 2 enterprise clients, so here it shows me 2 options. If you have any talent cloud badge, you don't need to worry about this section. Each time the enterprise clients post a new job, Upwork notify you, so skip it. This is how you can find your preferable job by using filters, and you can save your preferences too. When you are done with your searching, just click on the Save Search button and name the search and save it. It will be saved on your feed. Once you click on any feed, it will show you the relevant search result. So, we are done with all the questions. Wait, it is not finished yet. I have 2 bonus tips for you. Here is the bonus tip number 1, and that is how can you track if your previous clients post a job. To do it, go to the search filter option by typing anything in the search bar. Select my previous client from the client info section. Keep everything else as it is. Then delete the words you typed from the search bar. Refresh the browser and save the search. Name it, say, previous clients. See, there is now a feed named previous client. Just click on it and you will find all the job posts posted by your previous clients. This simple trick can help you to find your old client's post. Check it at least once a day, and once you find a new job posted from a previous client that is suitable, just open your message box and send the client a personal message telling them you just saw a job post, and mention your last work with the client and tell the client you are interested to work again with them. Do not apply for the job. Send them a message. It will save your connects and make you more likable to the client if they are interested. Now comes the second bonus. What if you see a job post very interesting but with a low budget? What should you do then? In that case, can you bid more than the budget set by the client? Yes, you can. Many quality clients don't know the exact cost of a particular job, so they just put a random figure in their budget. First, you need to check the client's quality, history and feedback, as I told earlier. And if you feel the client is great and you are good enough to do the job, then you can bid more than the set budget. Remember, to get the extra money, you need to give some extra service than other freelancers. Think out of the box and find out what you can give extra and mention it in your cover letter. For example, let's say client needs a Word doc to be designed nicely. You can offer an extra cover page for the doc. This extra offer gives clients a real satisfaction and they will be happy to pay you more than their set budget. Remember, great clients always seek quality works. Quality comes first to them and then the money. So, if you had a solid proposal, the client will respond even if your proposed budget is high. You can convince the client, or at least you can negotiate. Here is an example for you. From the screenshot, you can see the client's budget was $300 and my bid was $400. You see, the client responded and clearly told that my bid was out of his budget. I didn't just say, no, I can do that, or it's too cheap. Rather than these common phrases, I gave him a solid reason and still I managed to earn $60 extra than his budget. So, Don't get afraid. Apply for some appropriate job and share your experience with me and others. Your experience can help others. After all, this is our duty to make this world a better place. And what can be the best way rather than sharing and caring for each other? Anyway, see you in the next lesson. Thank you so much.